Today I want to show you how to sharpen knives by feel. Let's get into this. Alright, so grab your sharpening stone and your knife. Lay the knife down on the stone. One thing really quick, anytime you lay your knife on a stone, just make sure you don't push it across the stone when it's flat on there, because it's going to scratch up the face of your knife. So always be careful, or just elevate the knife slightly rather than setting it all the way down. Whatever's most comfortable for you. Here's the trick. Slightly raise the angle and push the knife backwards on the stone. When you slightly raise it, what you're going to feel is a lot of resistance. The reason this is you're actually, see if I can get this close to the camera, you're actually going to be sharpening. If you were going to sharpen at that angle, you'd be sharpening into something called the shoulder. The shoulder is right before the secondary bevel. So right where this cutting edge starts, right before that is the shoulder. And if you lay your knife on the stone and just slightly raise the angle, you're going to be digging into that shoulder. That's not where you want to sharpen the knife unless you're trying to thin out the blade or sharpen at a really low angle. But the reason it's important to focus on this is when you feel that, you'll know you have the knife at too low of an angle. So what we're going to do is keep raising the angle and feeling the feedback of the knife on the stone. So I'm going to raise the angle a little bit more. I still have a decent amount of resistance right now. And what I'm looking for is when I raise it to a certain point, the knife slides across effortlessly back and forth. When I reach that point, this is a good reference point. Now this isn't the angle that I want to sharpen with. This is actually not the apex or the tip of the knife edge, but it's pretty close to it. It's right before it. And if you can find this on every knife, then all you have to do is just raise the angle a little bit, and you're generally going to be right at the factory edge. So let's do this again. Put the knife on the stone, raise the angle slightly, and get used to that feel. That right there is the shoulder of the knife. Now let's raise the knife a little bit more. If you still have a decent amount of resistance, keep raising it until it just feels like the knife is literally sliding across the stone. So for this knife, it's right here. There's not much resistance, which isn't a good thing when sharpening, because if you sharpen at this angle, you're not going to apex your knife very quickly, at least, and especially if you didn't have a coarse enough sharpening stone. But if you've gotten the knife to this point and you raise it up slightly, you have found the apex, and that's the angle that the knife was sharpened at. And then you're going to very quickly be able to form a burr on your knife. You're going to have to just get used to doing this yourself, practicing and feeling this point. I'll do it kind of quicker now to find that point where it just slides across, no problem. Yep, there it is for the knife. You can also hear it as well. But that's the point where I know that I need to raise the angle a little bit more. So there's like this balance between not sharpening into the shoulder and then not sharpening when the knife is just sliding so easily across the stone. And it makes sense, right? If it's just gliding across the stone, no problem, you're probably not going to be removing metal. There should be some resistance. And when you find this point where it slides and you raise it slightly, then you can really start to feel resistance, which is exactly what you want. Now, you can raise the knife angle up too much. And one way you could kind of find the angle by feel as well is keep sliding the knife backwards and raising the angle until it stops. If you've done this, you don't want to sharpen at this angle. You're actually going to be rounding off the apex if you sharpen at this angle. So you could just back off a little bit and sharpen with that angle as well. That's what I like to call the knife sliding trick. Get used to how your knife feels on the stone with all these different angles. Now you don't have to always sharpen at the factory edge. I just always suggest that for beginners because it's already hard enough to sharpen a knife in the beginning. And if you sharpen at too low or too high of an angle as a beginner, you might not be able to fix the knife. Another benefit of this is once you get used to the feedback or how the knife is sliding across the stone, how it feels, once you get used to the correct feedback, you won't have to do these tricks where you're sliding the knife all around and lowering and raising the angle. You'll literally be able to just feel, okay, this is the amount of resistance that is sharpening the knife, or nope, this is just sliding across the knife, so this isn't working. I need to raise the angle now, or I need to lower the angle now. Once you master the feel, you won't even have to look anymore if you absolutely don't want to. Well, I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments what you think, and we'll see you in the next video.